Welcome back to Screencast, everyone. I'm your host, Nick Scarpino, alongside the movie bros herself, Joey Noel. Joey, how you doing?
I'm good. It's Thursday, I think. Who knows? You can tell me it's like any day of the week
It
right
is
now.
Thursday. And of course, joining us remotely right now is Kevin Coelho as well. He is manning the ship, and he's also going to chime in a little bit here and there when he can. Kevin, how you doing? Kevin's our wartime correspondent. He's calling live.
God damn it! They didn't even hear that bit.
You want to do it again?
There's so much happening here. So much. There was knocking
Kevin,
happening when I said it the first time, though. It was funnier.
It does sound like you're calling from a war zone. Like you are calling from live to report.
I forgot I can do this too.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, it looks like you guys are looking at me.
Hey. I'm very excited about this, ladies and gentlemen, of course. This is Screencast. We bring you all the movie news each and every week here on kindoffunny.com or youtube.com/kindoffunny. If you're watching this over on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. We have lots of cool movie related content, not the least of which, of course, is we're doing 2 in reviews. Now that's the biggest news of the week. Next week, we're going to start doing Back to the Future and Transformers. And Greg will be joining us for Back to the Future, I believe. I don't know if we've announced that or not, but I just did. He's going to be doing the plot synopsis for that. But I called the plot synopsis, Joey, for Transformers. I'm cannot excited. Wait to write about the Boof.
Oh my gosh.
LaBeouf.
When Tim brought it up at dinner the other night, he was like, I want to know who's in for what series for these. I was like, I am absolutely in for both of these because A, Back to the Future is good, and B, Transformers entertaining.
It's something. Now the thing is this, and here's the deal, Joe. I've managed to watch at least 3 Transformers movies that I can remember.
Okay.
And I tried to watch the last one that I believe had Anthony Hopkins in it. And it started, and then it went to medieval times, and then it went to another time period, and then it went to the place Cybertron, and then it came back to, and I was like, what is fucking happening in this movie? How did was the editor having a stroke when he was cutting this thing? Because I was like, none of this makes sense.
I have no idea. I want to know if there's good as Tim says they are. I feel like Tim's the one that says they're good. Tim
doesn't say they're good. Tim says that they're enjoyable. Now, I will stand by the fact that the last time I watched a Transformers movie, the first one, I thought it was relatively entertaining.
I like the first one.
Yeah, it had a good cat. Megan Fox was fun. Shia LaBeouf is good. Eugene Levy playing the dad, right? Wasn't he the dad? Or did I just make that up?
No.
I think that's right. That sounds right.
We'll just say he was the dad. Maybe I might be mixing that. I might be mixing this entire series up with the American Pie series. For all I know.
Very similar. Lots of time travel.
Yeah, which one, Kevin? Which one's the one where the guy bangs the pie? He's thinking about that. It's of course American Pie. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have some other fun things.
Sorry, I just wanted to see where you'd go if I didn't say anything. It was worth it.
You know, when you put out jokes, you put them out there, and then you get back what you get back.
It's not Eugene Levy. It's some guy. It's hold on. Where's this? God damn it, Ron? No, that's the name of the character. God, just who is this guy? Why is
the chat's probably screaming it right now. We're not moving on until we find out who the dad was. No, but I know that they're there. Dad in Transformers.
Kevin Dunn.
Oh, that's right. No, that's not Eugene Levy at all. They look nothing alike.
No, not even close.
Wow.
He looks happy though, you know?
He does look happy in this picture. That guy's great and everything. He was really, really good in Veep. If you've never had a chance to watch that series, it's on HBO, and every season, with the exception of the second to last season, is fucking gold. Second to last season dipped a little bit, and when they figured out they only had 1 season left, they went fucking hard in the paint. They no holds barred, super inappropriate content. So if you're into that, I'm into that. I'm into you. Some other quick housekeeping things. We have some fun new stuff over on the store. If you want to go over to kindoffunny.com/store and check it out, we have a new PS I Love You t-shirt, which is cool. And
for
Joey,
the summer months, you know?
And you know what? I'll tell you this.
Pullover all the time.
I'll tell you this, the pullover, very, very cozy. If it's cold outside, if you live in a place where it's still snowing, God knows why you're living there. But if you do, that crew neck is thebomb.com. Having said that, yesterday, for the first time during all of quarantine, and it's not because I have the Rona, it's just because my wife makes me close all the doors because she, quote unquote, doesn't want to hear me. And I started sweating, and I'm like, I need, because I think I was wearing a sweatshirt, and I was like, I need I need the PS I Love You t-shirt. I have to have a t-shirt now. So now I'm wearing Gary's t-shirt, and I'm waiting for my PS I Love You t-shirt to arrive in the mail. Hint, hint, Joey.
I have them here. They're back there. So
I want one. Me. Well, maybe when I drop off your special gift later.
Yes.
We can do a quick exchange. Joey, by the way, Kevin, you'll appreciate this. I've taken to just referring to Joey when we're on Slack in code, in like spy code. Yeah. So the other day I had to drop off an SD card reader, and I said the eagle has landed.
Yeah. Nick, the story behind this, Nick says that he likes to do these stealth drop-offs to us because it makes him feel like he's part of the resistance.
So Kevin, from now on, when you speak to Joey, you have to speak to her just in code. Okay. Oh, no. The hawk flies at night. All right. Another housekeeping news page. Oh, special shout out to our Patreon producers, Mohammed, Justin Top, Das Baraju, Blackjack, and of course, Downtown Jared Brown. You guys are all awesome. Remember, if you want to support the show, hey, we get it. Times are tough. You may have gotten laid off. No big deal. But if you're still in a place where you want to support some of your favorite creators, go over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you guys can back us at the bronze tier and be a part of the show. We're going to ask you a question later, and you can answer that, and I'll read some of your answers live on the show. Next week, of course. I won't be reading them live as you type them. That would be weird. That would require me to be in your room with you, and we know that's illegal, I think. Of course, if you're watching this on Twitch, hey, guess what? You have Amazon Prime? Probably, because I do too, because what the fuck else do we have to do except for watch content right now, right? Well, guess what? You get one free Twitch Prime subscription, and we'd like that very much to go to us. It's very, very easy to link those two and give us that subscription. You have to do it every month, which is unfortunate. Up
there. Nope, there.
Where is it? Yeah,
you click up there. You should have something.
And we, of course, will read all of the new and resub subscribers after this show live. If you're watching this on YouTube, hey, consider watching live. It's fun. You get to be in the chat with everyone and talk shit about me, and I can't see it because this is Kevin's favorite thing. He gets to see all the people talking shit about me. I can't see anything, and he just giggles and he giggles.
And he references it. He references what's going on.
Of course, the show is brought to you by our sponsors today. We don't have any, so I'll just go ahead and shout out KFAF, the greatest show on the internet. Yesterday, me and Andy had a great cold open. Go check that out if you haven't seen it as well. We did the TikTok pose challenge with some famous movies, and I did one for Kevin, and he hasn't talked to me about it yet, which leads me to believe either he has seen it and liked it too much and doesn't want to give me that compliment, or he hasn't seen it at all. Because there's no way he hated it. That's for sure.
It's a lot. You hear the words TikTok pose challenge and you think it's something. And then you guys put a KFAF twist on it that I don't think anyone was really expecting.
As soon as you said you guys were doing this thing, I was like, oh, you guys should do this. And you're like, I already did it. And I was like, okay.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah, Nick, I saw it.
It's disturbing.
You did a good job. I'm proud of you, Nicholas.
Let's just put it this way, everyone. I had to mosaic out my body, parts of my body. And when I showed it to Andy for the first time, he mosaicked it out even more. Now, I don't know if that's a compliment or just maybe a safety mechanism, but you go over there, leave a comment on KFAF and let us know what you think. All right, Joey, Kevin, are you ready for some good news and bad news? Joey, which one do you want first? The bad news?
Give me the bad news first. Let's get out of the way.
First. Over on variety.com, they are reporting 2 more movies have been pushed back. Top Gun Maverick gets pushed back to December. Of course, Paramount's Top Gun Maverick, a sequel to Tom Cruise's 1986 classic, is the latest summer movie to vacate its release date as theaters remain closed to stop the spread of the coronavirus. The anticipated follow-up was scheduled to debut June 24th and will now release December 23rd, 2020.
Downside, it was going to be my half birthday present. Upside, it's now my real birthday present.
There you go. Christmas can only happen in December, Joey.
Only in December.
It is interesting because the movies that are getting pushed back still this year are something that you can now look forward to. Like Fast and Furious, they pushed it back to like fucking 2030 or whatever it is.
That one I'm sad about, but
that is sad.
If it's within this year, I feel like it's more understandable.
I mean, I'll also say this: put it on streaming services, you cowards. Oh. Why not? Tom, you got enough money.
That.
They're gonna lose so much money. Is why not? You know that.
I know. But if they put this on for $30, I'd go over to my wife and be like, D, it's time to get the volleyball out. We're going to grease each other up, and we're just going to watch Top Gun Maverick.
It's such a fun, well, I assume will be such a fun summer movie that it'll be interesting to see how it plays out in like a December. Holiday Christmas kind of weird vibe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to watch it no matter when it comes out. I'm just glad that it's not delayed. It's only delayed 6 months and not.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see, because our next news story is A Quiet Place 2 has been moved yet again, this time to September 4th. As part of this, I believe this also comes from the same article over on Variety if you want to read the whole thing. As part of the release shakeup, Paramount has moved A Quiet Place 2, which the studio postponed last month, to September 4th. I'm sorry, it's now been moved. Oh, it's been moved to December 4th. The SpongeBob movie, SpongeBob on the Run, an animated adventure based on SpongeBob, obviously, which was originally slated to hit theaters on May 22nd and will now bow July 31st, 2020. Meanwhile, sci-fi fantasy film The Tomorrow War, previously scheduled for December 25th, is now undated. So now they're like, fuck, we don't know what to do with all this stuff. This is
now they're pushing everything else back that had late 2020 dates, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, A Quiet Place 2 has already been moved once. They're trying to, I mean, September is, it's weird to think when this whole thing started, I was like, oh, September release date, we're totally going to hit that. But, you know, with the coronavirus still, and we just got the second shelter in place order to stay till May, September does seem a little aggressive for hoping that all the movie theaters are open.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. I just heard from one of my friends in Boston, and they just got their shelter in place order. So like, I think it's easy for us, like for me at least, to be like, oh, everybody's like locked in, so maybe I'm a little bit more hopeful. But when you take into account that different parts of the country are doing different things or are all on separate pages, it seems like I don't think it's going to be like a blanket date that everybody opens back up. I think it's kind of going to stagger maybe a little bit too.
Well, yeah, here's the downside to that though, is we obviously in California, since we're the best state in the union, we're kicking ass, and we're starting, especially in San Francisco, we're like, okay, we're flattening that curve. So even if we come out of it in a month, everyone else is still going to be behind, and then all those infected assholes are going to come to California and just reinfect all of us. And it's going to be like
cycles of it.
I shouldn't say infected assholes. I should say infected people.
Infected people, humans. Yeah. I think that September could be a fun date in the sense that like it's a fun lead into like Halloween and all the spooky movies and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure.
So I do think it fits really well there, rather than like a spring movie. But this is also one that I'm not like particularly attached to. Like I really liked the first Quiet Place movie, and I don't necessarily feel like we need a second one. But I'm still gonna watch it.
We definitely don't need a second Quiet Place movie, but the Quiet Place 1 really surprised me. I didn't. It was kind of exactly what I expected, but it was done so well that it just hit me. And it's one of those movies that I really wished I had seen in theaters, because I think watching that, I think I watched it on an airplane maybe. Where like you know, when you're watching on an airplane, you're watching with, no matter how good your headphones are, you're still hearing all the crap around you. So when it went dead quiet, I was like, people are still like, would you like some orange juice? Orange juice? I was like, fuck, man.
Excuse me, do you not see this very tense moment you're interrupting?
I know. I'm like, dude, she stepped on a fucking nail and she can't scream.
Oh my gosh.
Spoilers.
Yeah. No, this is, I feel like one of the few movies that I would like really fight to see in theaters, because it was such an experience. Sitting in, like, I even saw it I think I saw it at Draft House with Jen.
Oh, and see, like Draft House would be Draft House. See, I think that would still be too much chaos for me.
But I think because the movie was so tense, it was kind of nice to have like the servers and stuff like that coming in every once in a while to break it up,
right?
So that I wasn't like just stressed out the entire time.
Wait a minute, if I'm not mistaken, our wartime correspondent Kevin Coelho is trying to chime in. Kevin, what's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to. I feel like that's an unfortunate place to see it, because this is one of those movies that I was like, damn, I really wish I had seen this shit in Dolby. I feel like audio is so important in this one, and I don't think that the Alamo has fantastic audio. I watched it.
It was one of the small theaters, though.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't make it better. I feel like those small theaters, well, actually all of them, I don't think they have good audio setups. I watched it at home, and it sucks because like my TV is beautiful and it looked fucking phenomenal, but it has a shitty audio setup. So it was like, it sounded fine, and it's just one of those that like I was like, damn it, I really missed out not watching the shit at Dolby. So when the second one eventually comes out, hopefully Dolby's still a thing and I can go watch it at the AMC.
Well, that's my question for you though, Kevin. So this has already been pushed twice to September 4th. Do we see they're not pushing this thing a third time?
Oh, they definitely could. Well, it depends on how things are. Like, and what people have to remember is that they're predicting that we're not going to have an virus
vaccine.
For the vaccine. Thank you. Until 12 to 15 months. So there is a very good chance that next, March, April, we might have something like this happen again, where the world kind of picks back up, or the Rona starts going around again, and we might have to also shelter in place again. So right. I wonder, they have to really figure out that window of are people going to be going back to the theaters in September? But we can't wait too long, because what if this starts again,
Yeah, that's an interesting concept, because I didn't take that into consideration. My perspective has been they're as soon as the hospitals, are ready to take what they think will be the worst of it, people will start filtering back out into the general populace and at least going back to work on some restricted circumstances. But yeah, I think all signs point to, even if we are it's low right now and people go back to work, eventually everyone will start getting it and you'll start seeing a lot more cases. So that is interesting to see if as a general population, we all go, hey, they've got enough beds, they've got enough breathers, or respirators rather. It's time to go back to work and just ventilators. Thank you. It's time to go back to work and just maybe risk it. Or if they do another shelter in place 6 months from now, that'd be tough. That would not be fun for sure. And that would be chaotic for the movie industry.
Well, it also, I don't think it would be 6 months from now. I think it would be a little bit further away. I'm
a year from now.
Saying, 9 months to a year from now is when I think they're saying that there's a possibility of it reoccurring once things slow down. But who knows? Maybe that people have a different understanding of stuff now, and if there's a little bump in people are getting sick, I think that we're gonna naturally stop being asocial throughout just the normal, people are gonna be well, maybe I'm not gonna go to the theaters because or out to a bar to get drinks,
right?
Because I'm hearing that it's starting up again, so that might help also flatten the curves.
Well, for sure, for me, I would love nothing more than just to go sit in the theater right now. But I do wonder if once the shelter in place order is lifted, that's not going to be the first. My first instinct wouldn't be okay, cool, I immediately want to throw myself into a theater full of 200 people. I think I would definitely go to a workout first and just be let me do that for a month and see. I think it might be a while till I creep back into theaters, but I think I might be the only one thinking that. I'm pretty sure everyone in San Francisco is clamoring to just get together, because people are starting to go a little crazy here. And I've noticed that. I saw 2 altercations yesterday at a Pete's Coffee, and I was like, people are going to start fucking fighting each other.
Tell me about altercations. I like hearing about
it. Yeah, tell us about it.
Oh my God. I get, me and my wife go for a walk, and we're going to go to Pete's Coffee, and I have the mobile order thing, but you guys know that I've had this silent war that I've waged against mobile ordering for my entire life.
To be clear, it has not been silent.
It has been a very vocal conflict I've had. And finally I was like, this is just the safer thing to do, which is to download it. But my wife was like, today we can do it tomorrow, but today we'll just go online because I don't want to stress you out. I was really stressed out yesterday. And she was like, we'll just go stand in line. And they have every business that's open has to, by law now, I think, do the hash marks of 6 feet. And so I walk there and there's someone in line, and there's a guy standing behind that guy, but he is a solid 12 feet away. And this guy, you never know in San Francisco where you see someone, you're like, do you just run a brewery or are you homeless? Do you know what I mean? Is it hipster or homeless? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I see this guy and I'm like, I know to ask. I'm like, hey, are you in line? He goes, yes, but I just want you to know, I want you to respect this. I'm taking the 6 feet order very seriously. So please respect that. And I'm like, all right, you're coming at me with a lot of energy right now. And it's not
for a very simple question answer.
And it's but I respect it, because I'm like, listen, everyone's reaction to this is theirs. And if you're being hypersensitive to it, cool. Probably better to be more paranoid than less paranoid. But there was a tinge in his voice that I'm like, this guy's a little off. And so my wife and I kind of looked at each other, and we've been in San Francisco for 10 years. So we're like, all right, let's give him some space. That's where his comfort level is. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to get my coffee either way. So we stand a solid 10 feet away from him. And as the line moves up, he keeps looking back at us. So we keep like the 10-foot distance. And then for no reason, zero reason, unprovoked, he starts screaming at the top of his lungs to everyone that can hear him. 6 feet. 6 feet, people. It's for your own safety. Stop being selfish. 6 feet. And people are walking by and he's pointing at him. 6 feet. And they're like, dude, I'm fucking 20 feet away from you right now. What are you doing? Finally gets his coffee and leaves. But as he gets his coffee, I hear in the coffee shop that there's another coffee shop, a little French place right like caddy corner or right beside it. I hear this woman, and I don't hear who she's screaming at. So it's only one-sided. It's like when you hear someone screaming on the phone. She's like, I wasn't in your space. I'm not in your space. And I'm like, is she screaming at this guy? And no, she was screaming at the barista. And she was like, and then she starts doing, oh my God, it was like the most stressful thing, but it was also
everyone's just slowly cracking.
But it was also kind of like comforting because I had a little conniption fit moment yesterday where I just hadn't slept very well in a few days. And my wife was like trying desperately to like calm me down. And I was just, I got mad because someone left hangers on our front stairs. And I was like, someone's going to trip over this shit. I got to move this. And my wife's like, just relax. We'll move it. And I'm like, no, I'm throwing this out because you know what people don't need if they have coronavirus? A twisted ankle. And she was like, you're right. Nobody needs a twisted ankle right now. This is not something people need to do. And then she's like, do you need some time to yourself? And I was like, no, I think I just need to relax and sleep and get it, And so anyway, so I think people need this thing to be over sooner rather than later. But, for the time being, try to get as much sleep as possible and watch movies that don't stress you out. Speaking of which, Kevin, our next news story is Uncut Gems will be released on Netflix March 25th in the US. I believe it's already available outside of the country, but we can all watch this heartwarming, charming little movie that is not stressful at all.
Not even a little bit. It's the most relaxing movie-going experience I've ever been to personally, and I can't wait to just watch it over again.
I think it's Adam Sandler's most lovable performance since Billy Madison. You're just gonna fall in love with this character.
Honestly, this movie has no business being as good as it is.
It was so good. It was
so good. Kevin Garnett is really good in it.
KG.
Weirdly, yeah. Like his shop girl friend person, whatever, whose name I never remember.
The mistress. There we go. I had something Fox, I want to say.
That sounds about right.
Julia Fox? No.
That's totally
right. I think that's right. I'll double check.
Phenomenal.
So good. The script is really good. Sandler's really good. The way that they build tension and all of this, it's really stressful and really good, and you should watch it, even though you probably don't need more stress in your life.
I'm trying to remember the name of the directors. The Safdie brothers? Is that who they are? Yeah. They're fucking great. These guys
What else have they done? I feel like I've probably asked before, but I don't remember.
I don't know. Kevin can look that. Actually, I'll look it up right now.
Julie Fox is correct.
Can you look up what the Safdie brothers did before, Kevin?
Yeah.
I think there's one big thing that I'm probably missing.
Probably. I don't remember. I remember looking it up and not. I think I haven't seen the other stuff they've done.
I thought there was one more thing that they had done. Well,
I thought there was one big thing, and then the other ones were kind of.
I think they did Captain America: Winter Soldier. All right, that was the Russo brothers. I give the jokes. I just
good time. They
did
jokes
good time. Up to you guys. I tee the jokes up, swing and a miss.
Yeah, sorry. I was reading. I'm getting a bunch of messages from Andy right now about this stuff that's going on later that he should have had a conversation with me beforehand, not now. I'm gonna go. Bye.
Kevin's
okay, bye.
It's okay.
Let me look up something really fast. I can't remember.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to read the next news story for all the peeps out there in Wonderland. This was a weird one, and I looked, and I'm not sure. Chat, let me know if this is an April Fool's joke that old Uncle Nick just didn't realize. But the NFL is going to be on Nickelodeon.
I saw that, but I didn't read the article.
Apparently, I looked in the comments and I was like, this has to be an April Fool's joke because the news broke on March 31st. And I was like, they're clearly screwing with us because what demented son of a bitch thinks it's a good idea to put a full contact sport like football on a kid's channel? But the article over on deadline.com reads, the NFL owners have voted to expand the playoffs to include 14 teams and will add postseason games on Nickelodeon and NBC Universal's new streamer Peacock, with the NFL's 2020 schedule not affected by the coronavirus as yet. Its wildcard weekend is set to include 3 games on Saturday, January 9th, and 3 the following day, in addition to CBS's January 9th broadcast, which also will be live streamed on CBS All Access. The league said separately produced telecast on the game tailored for a younger audience will air on kids-focused cable net network, Nickelodeon. So I don't know what a separately game tailored for younger audience looks like for the NFL, but I can only imagine it's just the parts where right before they start playing the game.
Yeah, this seems like a very weird move. I mean, I don't really understand. I mean, I guess
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when you watch old cartoons and there was like smoking ads on them, where it's like, "Hey kids, I'm a Lucky Strike kind of guy. I'm a Pall Mall kind of guy. When you grow up, you can smoke Pall Malls." And the kids are like, "Yeah, let me just fucking hit one of these." Or like the sugar cereal ads.
Weren't you one of those kids?
Bro, that's why I smoked. It's cool. I stand by it. Smoking's cool.
Yeah, the Camel.
Hey, if you're a child out there rushing right now, I'm a Camel Light, man.
No, stop. That's not funny. That's not funny. Don't
light up
smoke.
a Camel Light or
Don't
two.
smoke.
If your parents have some cigarettes, go into their wallet, steal their fucking cash, and go over and buy yourself a pack of Camel Lights. I hope this is an April Fool's joke. And if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment in the comments below, letting everyone know if it is. If it's not, this is a terrible idea, and the NFL should be ashamed of themselves. This is the equivalent to like, hey, let's just make UFC fights. Let's just take the most brutal UFC fights and just cut them into commercials in amongst SpongeBob SquarePants. How about that?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what separately produced means. Like, is it going to be something that's like, how does that factor into I guess it's a wild card game, so it's like a real thing.
It's a real game. Yeah, I mean, it's postseason games, but it'll be the wild card slot to see, I guess, who goes into the playoffs. So,
but what's going to make it different from their normal broadcast?
I have to imagine they're going to rebroadcast it without maybe some of the more violent hits, or maybe they're taking alternate angles on stuff. I don't know. If I were a parent, though, I would
friendly announcers.
Yeah, how hilarious would it be if they just let like 12-year-olds like Hannah Montana was like, "All right, y'all. I guess that guy's doing this to this guy. I really don't know how football works."
He almost caught the ball, but not quite.
Hannah Montana's a 12-year-old in your mind, huh?
I mean, she will forever be. You know, I don't know who this Miley Cyrus person is, but Hannah Montana is the GOAT. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to something more fun. Kevin, if you can pull this up, this would be great. This next story, it comes from James Gunn's Instagram, where he put a nice post out that said, 14 years ago today, my directorial debut, Slither, opened. It was not a hit, to say the least, but because of the great reviews and that so many of you folks loved it, it was the start of a great career for me. Just as importantly, I met many wonderful people making the film who have remained close friends to this day. Here are some photos from that time, including some never before seen behind the scenes stuff of Slither. I urge you guys, if you haven't seen Slither, to absolutely watch Slither. It is
I've never watched it.
Oh my god, it's so much fun.
It's so much fun. It's Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks.
You've checked these photos, right? There's nothing like this is.
Yeah, it's on Instagram.
Oh, it's on Instagram. You're right.
They can't like do neat stuff. If you want to scroll through for the audience, Kevin, you can see a young Elizabeth Banks here. Let me see here.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I can. Yeah, there you go. My favorite is the one where it's like all of them in the massive monster and the guy's giving the thumbs up. I think it was number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. that's so brutal. Yeah, Slither's one of those really fun, like perfect horror movies for me, where it's campy, it's tongue in cheek, it's kind of silly, but it's actually a good movie and has some decent scares in it. And it's got Nathan Fillion as a lead, and I love him as leads. And who is the guy that played Yondu? What's his name? Why am I missing it?
Michael
Rooker. Michael Rooker as the bad guy. Right, yeah, it's a really fun movie.
God, his arm makes me so uncomfortable. I don't want to look at it, but
dirty.
I can't stop.
You mean that limp arm that he's got on his leg right there?
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Joey, it's about slugs from outer space that come, right? Is that right, Nick?
Yep. Yeah. That's what I remember. I haven't seen it in 10 years, but
they come to Earth to take over, and it's a lot of fun. Highly recommended. I'll check where it is streaming.
That's fun.
I'm down to watch that.
Yeah, so if you guys are out there and you're a little stressed out, of course, reasonably so, and you want a fun movie, go over and watch Slither if you can find it streaming. It is a fun one. How can you not like Elizabeth Banks? Are you kidding me? You don't like Elizabeth Banks? Get out of this country.
You can only rent it, but it's $4 everywhere.
That's not bad.
Buy it for $6 in a lot of places. That's pretty bad.
Buy it for $6. Take it over to your friend's house. That's what I say. That's how it works, right?
I don't think you've ever said that.
Certainly.
I say it all the time.
On YouTube and Google Play, you can buy it for $6. Everywhere else, it's a little bit more expensive, $13 to $15.
Yeah, it's worth a rental. Don't buy it. It's definitely worth a rental, though. Lastly, I got one quick news story for you guys. This dropped over on The Hollywood Reporter. Amazon Prime is teaming up with South by Southwest to launch a so-called film festival collection. Now, of course, the mayor of Austin said, hey, I want to do South by Southwest, but it's just not right now with the coronavirus. So we shut it down. The city is a little bummed because they were, they usually expect about 200,000 people coming in for the festival. And of course, the people who are really bummed are the filmmakers who were chosen to appear or actually have screeners in the festival and can't do that now. So Amazon is stepping up, and they are the filmmakers who've been scheduled to screen films at the fest were notified this morning and will have the option to opt in to it. Some who have already distributed with the Amazon rival will likely choose to forgo the virtual festival. Those who opt in will see their films play exclusively on Prime Video in the US for 10-day virtual fest, which Amazon will likely launch in April. Filmmakers who choose to participate in the virtual festival will receive a screening fee. The setup does not mean that Amazon has acquired the films. Those looking for distribution will still have that option. I think this is really cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
There's always so many films that debut at these festivals that we have to wait a year plus to see usually by the time they get distributed. So to have like a hub that we'd be able to like widely have be accessible is really, really cool.
I agree. I've always wanted to go to like Toronto, like TIFF or like the New York Film Festival or Sundance, and I've just never gotten off my lazy ass and tried to figure out how to do that. There are awesome things to do because you can go and see like 30 movies in the span of like a week. And obviously
you should go to TIFF.
I was just saying, if the world ever gets back to normal and this show's still going on, we should definitely go to TIFF one of these years and like just do it. Because I'd be down to watch 10 movies a day. That's
Matt Rohrbeck, who writes it all the time. He went to TIFF last year and saw something like 32 movies in like 6 days or something.
Yeah, he's the one that he's very inspirational. We had a great conversation, I think, when we were in Vancouver, where he was like, I saw this, I saw this. I was like, wow, that sounds like so much fun.
It does sound so fun.
I mean, just think like we could just, the three of us, they wouldn't know where we went. We don't tell them, Kev. We just go and we start tweeting and we let Greg figure it out.
I'm all in, Nick. I'm all in.
We bring back Nick at Night starring Joey and Kevin, and I'm not even in it at all.
That show sucked. Oh, that might be a much better version of that show.
Nick at Night was great.
Was it? It was inconsistent, fun. Is what it was.
Now, obviously, doing something like this is not going to replicate the film, the festival going experience. But I think this is kind of cool that they're giving at least some of these people the opportunity to get a little bit more exposure. I'm not quite sure how the economics work out, because if they're doing this, I don't know if you can still get distribution if you've already been kind of seen for 10 days on a platform like Amazon Prime that has a ton of subscribers. But I mean, it's something.
Can't promise exclusivity or anything like that.
I think it'd be a little bit funner or give you more of the festival theme if it was like 10 days of pre-scheduled, planned out video. Like, you go and it's a stream that you're watching. So like you'd have to know, I have to get there at, 1:30 to watch the movie that I'm excited for. I think that'd be
something that replicates more of the live experience.
Yeah, the live experience. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That way.
That's not just VOD, essentially.
Right. So that people can can then afterwards, when it releases to the public, it can be a bigger deal still.
Yeah, it would be interesting if obviously this is a cool service if you're already signed up for Amazon Prime, but I was thinking like, how could they make it more special? That would definitely be one of the ways to do it. And I think for audiences, like I wonder if I don't think people would pay an extra fee to watch the film collection. So it's cool that they're just making it available for Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I didn't see anything saying that you have to rent each one of the movies. Maybe you still do. I should go back and read that article again, but I wouldn't mind like seeing them and potentially paying a smaller extra fee for each one of the movies, given that, if they're, movies that are anticipated that I'm not going to see in theaters anyway, be cool to see them now. I don't know. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. Hey, everyone. Today's sponsor is KFAF, the greatest show on the internet. Last week, we told you what to do with all of that extra toilet paper you have. No, we didn't. We told you what to do if you don't have any toilet paper. Next week, we might be telling you what to do with all the extra toilet paper you have. And then this week, we told you guys, hey, me and Andy did the TikTok pose challenge with famous movies, and I bet you can guess which movie I chose to end with. If you can't, go over to youtube.com/kindafunny and check out this week's episode because it is a doozy. And now back to Screencast. Joey and Kevin.
Yeah. God damn, I just finished putting this together. Also, it was Silence of the Lambs. It was Silence of the Lambs, and you need to go. No, they should go and watch it because I'm not saying what scene it is, but fuck, it's a good one.
It might be the scene where they take the monarch out of the dead corpse's mouth. It might be the scene where Jodie Foster is running, or it might be a different scene.
Who knows? Who can tell?
We had some fun with that. I want to do that again. I want everyone to do that because it was so fun and also almost ruined my marriage. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it." She's like, "Why are you wearing my robe? That's weird."
Were you actually nude underneath?
Maybe.
The world will never know.
The world will never.
Do you want to really ask questions that you? Do you want to know the answer to that question?
Let me ask you this question.
It's like when you see something that's gross and you're like, I need to smell it. I need to find out if it smells bad.
Gotta see if I can pop it.
Like if you open up in your fridge and you're like, oh, this cheese shouldn't be here for 6 months, and then you're like, but I should smell it to make sure it smells bad, and then you smell it, and you're like, fuck, it smelled horrible, and then you're like,
no, you just throw it away.
Hey friend, come here and smell this. Come here and smell this, friend. It smells terrible. And your friend comes over and they're like, I don't want to smell it. You're like, dude, just smell it. Seriously, it's going to scar you for life. So go watch KFAF. It's good.
There you go. Thanks, Kev. That's a rousing endorsement. That was lovely. Joey.
Why did Joey just leave?
Did Joey leave?
Yeah.
Sorry, my Discord just restarted just for fun.
Great.
That was strange.
That was weird.
While we're waiting for her to come back, I would like to. Oh, there you go. Hey, Joe. Let's talk about what we've been watching a little bit. Joey, have you watched anything fun over the last week?
So, for the first time ever, I watched About Time, which is a Rachel McAdams and Domhnall Gleeson rom. I guess it's not really.
Oh, that's the one where his dad's like, hey. His dad's Bill Nye, and he's like, I got a secret for you. We can travel through time if you just close your eyes and think hard enough about it or whatever the fuck it is.
You have to go into a closet and then you have to clench your fist and stuff like that.
Somewhere dark, right?
It's so good.
Is it good?
It's really good. It's one of those ones that I've scrolled by on Netflix like a billion times because I feel like it's been on there forever. But it's surprisingly really great. It's the guy that did Notting Hill. What's his name?
Not Nicholas Sparks. But the guy did Notting Hill and About a Boy, right?
Not the book, the director.
Oh, I don't know then. I can't remember. I don't know who did.
He's like a very rom-com-y person, and now
that's one of those that I think I didn't watch because I thought it was
the Time Traveler's Wife.
Yes, I always got it confused with the Time Traveler's Wife, which looked.
Oh, Richard Curtis is the director.
Okay,
no,
shout out to Richard Curtis
for Notting Hill, or
sorry, isn't he? Did he not do? Yeah, he did Notting Hill too.
The director for Notting Hill says Roger Mitchell here.
Who did the Time Traveler's Wife? What is it called? That's what we really want to know.
Wait, what? I thought we were talking about time.
I'm joking. I'm just messing with you.
I'm so confused. Richard Curtis. You're right. Richard Curtis is the director about time.
Yeah.
And he did Notting Hill.
He might have just produced Notting Hill.
Ah, okay. Well, it has a very Notting Hill vibe to it, so that's
they're all very similar.
I would like to watch that. I'm going to put that down on my little
really
list.
Good.
Yeah,
I have fun. I have a list going here of things that I should watch. One says Dave, and then the other one says Dua Lipa's physical video. I don't know why I have that written down, but I have to watch that as well. So I'll write this down. Time Traveler's Wife.
No, the other one. About Time.
Oh, About Time. That's what it is.
It's weird because Rachel McAdams is in both of them, and it makes no sense, and I'm pretty sure they came out the same year.
Rachel McAdams was in everything for a while, and then she just dropped off the face of the earth. And I got to be honest with you. I'm happy about that.
Really?
I'll say it, man. I'm McAdams'd out.
No, you're crazy.
She was in every movie.
You're crazy. Yeah, I know. She should be in every movie. She's amazing.
Really good.
You know?
Listen, you do the one with Ryan Gosling. What's that one about?
The Notebook.
Yeah.
You do The Notebook. You fucking drop the mic. You walk off. You don't have to make a movie ever again. Okay.
Honestly, this one, I think I like About Time more than I like The Notebook, because Nicholas Sparks stuff is just so like melodramatic, and this has, I think, a little bit more heart.
Joy, I'm gonna need you to splash some hot coffee onto your face right now. How dare you?
Oh no, I don't have any.
How dare you speak ill of The Notebook?
I also she didn't speak badly of The Notebook. I also wanted to add that
there's a lot of other people in this movie too. Baby Margot Robbie.
Yeah, which is an interesting
and
one.
Vanessa Kirby too.
But I do want to add this is like such a cool take on time travel, where it's like I don't think I'm spoiling stuff, but like there's no like major consequences to traveling through time for them, and it just makes it really, really fun and kind of like a relaxing story. Highly recommend this movie.
There are like some established rules that you figure out throughout the movie
right,
for time,
and but he figures it out, and as long as he plays within those rules, he knows the consequences of like not going with those rules. And then
does it have one of the rules, the main rule from Time Cop, which is that same matter can't occupy same space?
No, because I feel like he jumps back into his own body when he travels in time.
Yeah,
bullshit,
right?
Because he's never like run into him.
It's a consciousness thing. Like he's not at two places.
Oh, so he just gets to go, and then he knows who he is, but he's like 16 years old.
Yeah,
right.
God, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Here's my goal. Here's what I'd love to do. I go back to when I'm 7 years old. I sit my mother down and I have a very real conversation about the perils of high fructose corn syrup. And I go, no more regular soda in this house, and we're only eating protein. And then I cut back to when I'm 40. Same person. Didn't listen to my own advice. Just like, fuck. Kevin, what you been watching? Anything fun?
So I haven't really had that much time to watch stuff, but me and Paula have started rewatching Ozarks because season 3. Ozark.
Yeah, season 3 is out.
Ozark.
Season 3 is out, and we started watching it, and it was one of those where the it started with a little recap, and we were just like, ooh, I don't remember a lot of this. It's been like a year and a half since we've watched this stuff, and we were like, should we watch a little bit of season 2? And I was like, well, should we watch the whole thing over again? And oh my god, the show, I honestly think it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite drama. Can't recommend it enough. People should be watching.
Yeah, my wife is very, very, very into Ozark, and she's gonna watch season 3, but she was like, I'm waiting for the right time, which is the time where she feels she's less stressed. And I'm like, I don't think that's gonna come. Yeah. But evidently it's a pretty stressful show. I think I watched the first episode. I'm like, I can't do this. This is like Breaking Bad. It's too much.
It's super stressful. It's very similar to Breaking Bad, except for in one major way where the protagonist of the series isn't like choosing to be a piece of shit. I mean, he's a bad person, but he's not trying to make his situation worse. Like he's not,
he's like an accountant, right? And he just kind of got through some happenstance and circumstances. He started doing accounting and like money laundering for the mob, right?
Well, yeah. So he's an accountant who does money laundering for a cartel in Mexico. And what ends up happening is his partner, and this is the first episode, his partner, essentially, they find out he's been stealing money. He's stolen like $8 million. And the cartel kind of comes and kills everyone but him, and they're about to kill him. And he's like, dude, I know a way where we can make way more money. I can clean so much more money than that. And like he does, like he's so good at math that he can sit there and be like, look, I know you guys are only giving us 10% of what you guys are making, and I know this much is. So he like wins over the cartel, and the cartel is like basically, all right, we're gonna give you a chance to go over the Ozarks and do your plan. So
the plan is basically to have you go to the sleepy town in the Ozarks, or the Ozark, and like buy businesses and things like that, and start money laundering through that, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But everything gets so much more complicated as things go on, and the story is never him trying to get over people and get more out of them. It's more him reacting to he is the chaos that comes and breaks things, and he's also has to sit there and try to figure out how to make these other people happy so they don't murder him. This is why phenomenal show.
This is why I only do petty crimes. I only endeavor in petty crimes. Speaking of which, Joey, I've stolen something from your room.
Oh no!
What that is in the next 15 minutes, I we'll give it back.
Did you steal the bottle of lotion that was right there in the last
No, that's amazing. Though. I didn't steal anything for a room, but I was wondering where the Jurgens went. I finished Tiger King, which I highly recommend.
What a fucking crazy ass story, man.
Yeah. Have you watched any of it, Joe?
I haven't watched it, but I listened to a podcast called Over My Dead Body.
I liked this. I liked this whole season. I wish it was only a 3-hour long documentary. It just is a little. Netflix is doing this thing where they're like, we want to retain audiences, so they're taking all their documentaries that should have probably just been a feature film, and they're making it into series, and I'm okay with it, but always right around the middle, I'm like, can we just see what the fuck happened? Like, how did this guy wind up where he's at? But
that's how I feel about McBillions, where it's like, I watched the first 3 episodes and then I stopped.
I did the same thing. I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm like, I get it. The story is cool if I tell you in 30 seconds. Over this course of 10 hours, I'm like, the only thing that I've ever seen that needed that was the O.J. Simpson documentary that ESPN, the 30 for 30 they did on that, or maybe it wasn't 30 for 30, but that one I was like, oh, this is
the stupid. American Crime Story one.
No, that was there was two. There were 2 series that came out at the same time. One was The People versus O.J. Simpson, which was the Sterling K. Brown led docu series, like miniseries. That was fucking phenomenal.
That was so
with
good.
Cuba Gooding Jr. as O.J. Simpson, but simultaneously ESPN put out a documentary about him as well that I think was like 3 or 4 parts. And at first I'm like, I had already watched all of The People versus O.J. Simpson, but the documentary, if you watch it right afterward, you're like, oh my God, it's like basically just showing you how much of the stuff they got right in the other series. Yeah. And I think it also focuses more on the ramifications of the O.J. Simpson trial in the communities than just the actual raw elements of the O.J. Simpson trial. So like, I think they in other words, long story short, too long didn't read, TLDR, they complement each other very, very nicely. And if you lived through that time and you're not quite sure about all that stuff, man, both those series were fucking phenomenal. The other thing I started watching, and don't tell Andy this because I don't want him to think he's ever right about anything, but I watched an episode of Westworld from season 3, and I'm like, okay, Westworld, you might have gotten me back. But I think I'm just going to skip season 2 altogether.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to ask.
You know what I mean? I just want to see, because it's like, I watched an episode where it was, I forget the lead character's name, not Rachel Lee Cook.
We know who you're talking about, Dolores.
Evan Rachel Wood. I watched it, and it's like a scene with her and the dude from Breaking Bad. I was like, holy shit, this is pretty cool. Like, it's sci-fi, it's out into the real world. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to start with season 3, episode 1, and go from there and start watching that. Have you guys been watching anything else? Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
I started watching Little Fires Everywhere, which is a Hulu series with Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington.
Oh,
really good.
Okay.
It's kind of has like those like Big Little Lies-ish kind of vibes. It's a little bit more stylized because it takes place in like some vague time in like the 90s. But it's about Kerry Washington, who's an artist, and her daughter just kind of like travel around doing like art pieces, and then she'll go to a new place to find new like inspiration. So they end up in this like very cookie cutter tractor HOA town that like Reese Witherspoon is kind of like the PTA mom for.
Okay.
And so it's about like their interactions and like their kids start to be friends, but about how like they're from very different places in life, like socioeconomically and stuff like that. And then there's like some really cool like secondary storylines about just different side characters and stuff like that. Joshua Jackson plays Reese Witherspoon's husband, which is like kind of weird.
What? Shout out to Joshua Jackson, man. Because my wife finally finished The Affair, and he was in, I think, the first 2 seasons of that. And I'm like, good for you, Joshua Jackson. And also shout out to Fringe. Everyone should have watched more Fringe. That show was great.
I never watched that.
It was great.
I know. I kind of forget that he's done more stuff because I just will always think of him as Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, well, when your character's name is Pacey, you're never going to live that down.
No.
Hi, I'm Pacey. Pacey Jackson. Weird.
But yeah, it's really good. I watched like the first 4 episodes, so I need to catch up. I think there's 1 or 2 more out. But it's really good. It's like a very drama.
Rockin'. The last thing that I watched was last night. IFC has been playing all of the Predator movies, and so randomly I just jumped in and watched Predators. Which, if it's confusing to you, this was the one with Adrian Brody where it starts where he's just being dropped onto a planet, and it is one of my favorite movies of the series. Every time I watch it, I'm actually legitimately blown away by how well put together the movie is. And even though it's basically the entire plot, the same plot from Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, they put a few twists on it and throw a couple curveballs your way, and they have fun kind of iterating and evolving that concept in a way that I just feel, I'm like, God, this movie's so freaking entertaining, despite the fact that Topher Grace is in it. But he actually, it's fun. But everyone else is fucking phenomenal. I shout out Topher Grace. He's fine, but he's such a weird comical element that they put in. But the payoff with all of the stuff that they set up with him, with all the characters, is super great. And shout out to Adrian Brody, who actually plays kind of a cool badass in this. And I want to say her name is Sofia Braga, I think, or I forget what the female lead her name is, but she's fucking awesome in it too. Very, very good cast. Danny Trejo's in it for a little bit. It's a cool concept, and I definitely recommend it. As far as all the Predator movies go, I think it would, if we ever do Predator in review, I expect this to actually rank pretty high up on the list.
We need to do two things. We need to get on the same page, Nick.
Yeah.
We need to push to do Predator in review and Alien in review.
We will do both of those for sure. There's no possible way.
Sooner rather than later.
I just rewatched the Alien movies. Paula watched them for the first time, and I'm talking about Alien 1, 2, 3, and Resurrection. I didn't want to stick Prometheus in there or Covenant.
Yeah,
because we have to.
They're terrible. But I just didn't want to put Paula through that. But Alien 1, 2, and 3, I feel like really, really hold up. And I remember 3 not being great.
I don't remember loving 3, but I haven't watched it in a hot second.
Yeah.
Sorry, the actress's name is Alice Braga, not Sophia Braga. I want to give her a shout out because she's awesome in this. 3 actually is interesting because it's. I was very disappointed when I first saw it because obviously they just decided to kill off.
Yeah, like it starts in such a frustrating way.
It starts
where
you're
like, wait, are you serious? You just are you really doing this?
But the concept is cool. Like she gets trapped on this prison planet where she's the only woman and the rest of them are guys and they're all fucked up. Like they're like there for life.
They're triple like X's or something, right? Or was it, or double Y's?
Yeah, and they get, and then obviously there's an alien there hunting them all down. It's pretty cool. Like it gets a little bit.
And it's a different.
I think it holds its own. Yeah,
it's a different type alien. That's the first time we see it because it came from a dog.
Walls and shit. Yeah,
so it's kind of has a different physiology.
Yeah, it's
really
very, very
interesting.
Cool. Yeah. And again, if you want to watch my TikTok post challenge, I may or may not have a still from Alien 3 in that. So go watch that over at KFAF this week.
Are you going to put that on your TikTok page that you have?
No, because it's not the right ratio.
Oh.
I'd have to recut it. I just did it. I'm like, I hate the that ratio. I hate the fucking portrait mode. So or portrait ratio. So I just refuse to interact with TikTok at all until it's almost over and no one cares about it, and then I will start putting content.
Nick, did you see at CES 2020 this year? They announced Samsung announced a TV that goes from the horizontal to the vertical, so that you can watch stuff like TikTok like that, and it look full screen. Apparently, it's very popular, and I believe it's
popular with 12-year-olds.
South Korea? Yeah, South Korea. That's the good Korea.
I just don't understand why people. I get it. People have to hold their phones. They're too fucking lazy to do this and watch content. I get it.
Well, no, but like what they were saying is in Korea that they it's like super popular for people to cast their phones onto TVs and just watch content that way because so much of it they're consuming. That's social media content.
Oh, I totally understand that, but then does the TV rotate itself?
Yeah, it's really fucking cool.
Then you have to wait for that. Does it go like, or does it go?
Do you want me to show you? I can pull it up.
I mean, I kind of do. All
right, let's get it. You fill time.
What the hell else are we doing? I gotta play The Last of Us later today, starting I believe at 2:00 over on the same Twitch channel you're watching this on. If you're watching this on YouTube, yeah. I probably already did it, but if you're watching this around 1:00 on YouTube and you got to this point already, hey, come back to twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames and watch me and Greg stream the first 3 hours of The Last of Us. And maybe I'll cry. Or maybe I'll be like, y'all a bunch of big babies. I'm too tough to cry.
Is it a game that makes people cry?
The opening is like pretty intense.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never finished it, so I can't tell you about the rest of it.
While Kevin's looking that up, last week's bronze topic, we asked you what you've been watching, and a lot of you wrote in. Ricky Blanco said Tim was 100% right about Dave, which is the Little Dicky series that's on FX right now. I just caught up on it, and my God, it is so fucking funny and surprisingly deep. 10 for 10 would recommend. Josh wrote in and said, I know it's not normally in the wheelhouse of Screencast, but Tower of God anime started airing this week. I watched the first episode on Crunchyroll, and I'm super excited for the rest of the season. Tower of God is a popular Korean webcomic. And finally, Ignacio Rojas wrote it and said, I'm watching the Daniel Craig Bond movies for In Review. Shout out to In Review. Made me more interested in the Bond franchise. Other than the new movies, I've only seen GoldenEye. Because of this, I decided to go back and try to watch every Bond movie in order of release. Yesterday, I watched Dr. No, starring Sean Connery, and Connery's Bond is a different Bond from Craig, markedly so. He leaned more into the charming side of the character, unlike Craig, who was more of an action overall. I did enjoy the movie as much I didn't enjoy the movie as much as the newer one, but I'm sure interested in seeing more Sean Connery movies. Yeah, a lot of those older Bonds are difficult to get through because they're so old that it just a lot, the action's boring, the effects are kind of terrible, but stick with it. I think that by the time you get some of the Roger Moore Bonds, they're so silly. They're really, they can be much more fun. And then shout out to Timothy Dalton because The Living Daylights is the shit. The shit. It is the bee's knees. Just watch that. Don't watch License to Kill. That's a terrible movie. Cool.
You see it there, Nick?
What's that?
You seeing it there?
Holy shit.
So
so it's just connected to your phone.
Yeah, it knows when your phone's rotating, and it rotates.
Then I feel like by the time it rotates, the TikTok's over.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure that the idea is people are watching an hour of random TikTok videos.
Man, if you're watching an hour of TikTok videos, you are losing brain cells.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not.
But I mean, you think that
there's some really good content on there, Nick?
I'm gonna say also, is that any different than watching this show that's been going on for 56 minutes?
Yes, because it's like three people actually talking and trying to talk about ideas and intellectually agree or disagree with each other. TikTok is just this. Happening. Look, I'm here and then I appear and I've got a Coke in my hand. How awesome is that? 80,000 views later.
You're missing out on some really good TikTok content.
It's funny. So much of what you said was wrong, including the 80,000 views later. They're like millions, These kids, they blow up.
Did I say 80,000? I meant 80 million.
Yeah. No, I know.
Either way. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for Screencast this week. Next week's bronze topic. Since we're talking about Predator, I just want to know, what's your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Be specific, and don't be like, I really like Predator, but Terminator 2 is good. No, I want your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and I want you to explain why.
I love the be specific.
If I disagree with you, I'm going to rip you apart, okay? And people know that I don't hold back when it comes to your opinions on things if I disagree. Let's see. We'll be back, I believe, next week. I think on Thursday we're coming back as well. I don't know who the cast is going to be on that one, but I'm probably going to be a part of it, and I'm sure Kevin and Joy will be there as well. Probably. Until next week, we'll see you on the internet.